Jonathan Taylor is one of the fastest rising running backs in fantasy football for 2021. Every year, the fantasy community takes the chance on a sophomore running back whose rookie season was pretty successful and makes this player the newest first round pick. While Taylor is currently being drafted as RB6, pick 107, in half-point PPR leagues, according to Fantasy Football Calculator, his sophomore classmates are all being drafted second round or later. I think the biggest mistake we can make as fantasy football managers when it comes to evaluating players is just looking at situations and making that the deciding factor in whether or not we like a player. Most times when I hear someone is high on Jonathan Taylor for 2021, their reasoning is, well, the offensive line for the Colts is the best in the league, and he put up 230 carries and over 1,100 rushing yards as a rookie. How does he not improve on that? But if we just solely look at the situation, we run into players like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, and James Conner. These are all players who were drafted in the first or second round last year because they were in good situations, and they didn't work out. We need to determine if the player we're evaluating is actually a good player. Jonathan Taylor is currently going as the RB6. That's one spot after Saquon Barkley and one pick before Nick Chubb. Can we really say Jonathan Taylor showed us on film he is the same level as this elite group of running backs? Because I don't think he's even close to this group. Let's take a look at some of Taylor's film so I can show you why I'm not sold on him as an elite running back. The biggest issue I have with Jonathan Taylor is the fact that I don't think he's elite in any elements of the game. Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, and Christian McCaffrey, they win with their elite quickness. These four running backs can make anybody miss in the league from any angle, any direction, anywhere. They make these guys miss. Nick Chubb, Zeke Elliott, and Derrick Henry all win with elite balance and really good quickness for their size. Maybe not elite, but for their, size and weight, they're pretty quick. I don't believe Jonathan Taylor is elite at anything. One of my biggest flaws of Jonathan Taylor is, to me, he's very hesitant, and when he gets a hole, he just doesn't hit it hard. I mean, look at this run up the middle. He's going to get the handoff to the right, and he's going to see the hole. But instead of just hitting it hard and running through it with a lot of power and speed, he just gallops through there. He just takes his time, and he really runs with no purpose. It doesn't look like he's running to make a guy miss or anything. It looks like he's just getting his yards and falling down. Another issue I have with Jonathan Taylor is when he's in open space, I just feel like he doesn't win all the time. He doesn't win like an elite back does. You're going to see on this play here, he gets the counter and he gives like a really weak move in the secondary, and I feel like he jukes nobody. There's no defender nearly around him when he jukes, and then the safety just flies in and smacks him. Here's another play where I just wish Jonathan Taylor would hit the hole and just get a first down. But instead, he tries to play more like a scat back, where he's trying to stop behind the line of scrimmage and do a jump cut and then hit the hole and find a gap. Just hit a hole. Jonathan Taylor was listed at 225 pounds, so he's playing right around 225, 230. I don't need him doing jump cuts behind the line of scrimmage and trying to use just pure athleticism, because I don't think he has the acceleration to just stop and go. I think he's more of a downhill back to where if there's a hole, he'll hit it, but don't expect him to do a lot more than that. And I think in his rookie year, he tried doing way too much when he doesn't have the skill sets necessary. Here's another play in open space. Jonathan Taylor's going to catch the dump off from Phillip Rivers, and he's just not going to make the defender miss. Now, it's 3rd and 20. It's not like he's going to score a long touchdown or maybe even get the first down, but that's the juke you gave him. That's the move you decided to put on the defender. It's just not a winning move. And here's the same identical play. Phillip Rivers is going to dump it down to Jonathan Taylor on 3rd and 10. This time, I need Jonathan Taylor to get the first down. And instead, he gives a weak juke move that doesn't fake anyone out, and the same corner that got him before on the last clip I showed you tackles him again. If I'm taking you with my top 10 pick in a fantasy draft as my running back, you have to be better than this. It's just true. If you're going to be in the same group as Zeke Elliott, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, etc., all the other guys, I think any of those backs get this first down, but Jonathan Taylor doesn't. Now, let's look at Taylor's 2020 stats. I believe they're a little bit deceiving. He finished the season as RB6 in half PPR leagues. But let's not be super impressed by that number. In a year where so many running backs busted, and we had guys miss time like Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, and Joe Mixon, it's safe to say that an RB6 finish in this year would not be the same in a normal season. In half PPR leagues, Taylor finished with 234.8 fantasy points. If we took that number and compared it to other seasons, he would have finished as the RB8 in 2019, RB8 in 2018, and RB7 in 2017. Now, I know that's not super different, but maybe it just shows that he didn't have as crazy as a season as people think he really did. And now let's look at his real life NFL stats. He finished with 230 carries for over 1,100 rushing yards and double-digit TDs. But if we look at his per-game stats, they seem less impressive. Only 3 games over 100 yards rushing, 8 games with 15 carries or less, and had 1 blow-up game that swayed his total season production. In a meaningless Week 17 game against Jacksonville, who may or may not have given up on the season so they can get the number 1 pick to get Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville allowed Taylor to run 30 times for 253 yards and 2 TDs. If we took that game out, Taylor would have finished the season with 202 carries for 916 yards and 9 touchdowns. His yards per carry would have went from 5.04 to 4.5, and his rushing yards per game, 77 down to 65 per game. That's a lot less impressive than what he actually put up. So after the year we had last year, with so many running backs who were in good situations busting for fantasy football, I can't take Jonathan Taylor, a running back whose talent I'm not impressed with, on a Colts team with a brand new quarterback, and a pass-catching back in Nyheim Hines who splits the backfield touches with Jonathan Taylor, over players who I am more impressed with. Situations can change from year to year, but talent is usually the last thing that's to leave a player. So this year, I'm passing on Jonathan Taylor as a first-round pick. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be bringing fantasy football content all summer long, so stay tuned, and I'll be back with another video soon.